It's fall. You can smell it in the air. What else do you smell in the air?
Well, I work right across the street from a Starbucks, so I smell a lot of pumpkin spice. How do you feel about pumpkin spice?
You know what? I don't know.
Stacey?
I don't know. I can take a little bit.
Okay.
And then it's gone a long way.
Okay.
What will happen is, it came out a while ago, beginning of the fall. Well, it's not even fall. Anyway, came out. When it comes out, I guess the beginning of September is when it comes out. I have had one coffee-ish thing, and that's all. But here's what I will tell you. As far as drinking things, I'm kind of done. I've gone back to my caramel. That's my go-to normal.
Like a caramel macchiato?
Yes.
Nice.
Or a caramel latte. I mean, I do it. Caramel is my go-to. But I'll do a pumpkin spice just to say, I don't even know why I feel like I have to say I've done it. But what I have found, so a local grocery store has these pumpkin spice cream cheese mini muffins.
Okay.
They are addictive.
Okay, I believe that.
They've only been out for a week and a half, and I've already gone through 3 boxes.
Yeah, I'm not a pumpkin spice addict, but I don't get the whole backlash like pumpkin spice is evil. I'm like, whatever, let people have their life.
No, but I do hear.
Enjoy that.
You know what the new one is? You know what the new pumpkin is?
What?
Maple.
Oh, they've been doing that for a while, and they had a maple macchiato at Starbucks 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, that was really good. It's basically just use maple syrup. I mean, everything else is syrup. So they just put maple syrup in your macchiato and stirred it up, and I thought it was wonderful. I was totally into that. See, pumpkin spice, though, I got annoyed when Starbucks actually put pumpkin in their pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice is not pumpkin. Pumpkin spice is the spices you put into a pumpkin pie to make it taste like pumpkin pie.
Right.
It's the spices that go with pumpkin.
Right.
When they actually started putting pumpkin into their pumpkin spice syrup, I was like, now it just tastes like a pumpkin pie, which is not the same as pumpkin spice and coffee. I typically do the triple grande pumpkin spice latte, so it's a little more coffee to offset some of the spices. Tried a pumpkin spice chai tea latte this morning.
How'd that go?
Too much. A lot of stuff going on in there. Just a lot of stuff. Too much stuff.
When the chaos of popular culture makes your brain hurt, you really need belief in the form of a transfusion of analysis and humor. It's time for a Poperation. Join hosts Eric and Stacey as they dissect popular culture one bloody organ at a time. It's just what the doctor ordered.
You're listening to Poperation. I'm Stacey.
I'm Eric, and summer has recently just left us, Stacey. We're so sad that the summer is gone. But you know what? My favorite time to go to the movies is coming up. This whole fall and winter season. It's Oscar bait, but it's also a lot of big flagship movies come out. So
it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's trailer time for the holidays.
So we have just watched a shitload of movie trailers, and we are going to kind of just walk through them today and talk about what we're excited about and what we're not so excited about and what we saw in the trailers and what we missed, and
maybe let you know of a trailer that you might want to check out to see if you might be interested in seeing it. That's the whole deal. So the trailers come out in the early fall for the fall winter blockbusters and even the small Oscar bait, as you said. And I think we've decided to take it upon ourselves to be your guides.
Yes.
If you will.
So we went to a little plug for imdb.com, the Internet Movie Database, and they've got a whole coming soon section where you can watch a whole bunch of trailers for things that are coming up. And it occurred to me when we were putting this show together, trailers are the only commercials that people actually enjoy. I get mad if I'm late for a movie and I miss the trailer.
I agree. I have always, since I was a little girl, liked the trailers because you never know what you're going to see. They're also short. So if you hate it, you know it's going to be over in a minute.
Sure.
But if you love it, you're like, oh, I'm going to sock that away for when I'm going to see it.
And sometimes you're super excited about a movie just because, maybe it's a sequel or maybe it stars people that you like and you're going to go. But every once in a while you see a trailer and you're like, I don't know that I would have seen that based on the poster, but now I kind of want to see this movie. They can feel a little bit like little tiny films themselves, like a little short film. Although if they tell you too much, if you feel like you've seen the whole movie after you watch the trailer, that's not good.
I think that is the risk you take when you make a trailer, is you want it to have enough of the story so that people feel compelled to see it.
Uh-huh.
But you don't want to have too much so that they're like, well, I've seen the show.
Exactly.
And I will tell you that some of these trailers that we're going to talk about, they hit some were too much, some were too little, some were right on the money. So we'll talk about them.
Yeah, but they're definitely more sophisticated than they used to be. You look at old-timey movie trailers where like the words would kind of cross across, an adventure like you've never seen. And it was this whole, like, they were much more obviously commercials. Now it feels like, here's a little taste of the movie. And I think that's probably why we like it more than a typical commercial. You don't feel like you're being sold to. You just feel like you're getting a little taste. It's like getting a sample at the Baskin Robbins, and if you want the whole thing, you can get the whole thing. And so it feels like going to the movies itself.
Well, what they try to do is they do try to have the best parts. If it's a comedy, you want to have several of the funny parts, if not the funniest parts there. Although that sometimes ticks me off when
you
comedy, especially,
see the movie.
And that it was the funniest part, but also it's like, save the funniest for the moviegoer, the one who paid money for it. Don't put all of your hijinks in the trailer.
And have you ever felt like you've gone to see you've seen a trailer for a comedy and you feel like, I bet I saw everything funny in that movie?
Yes.
You just kind of have that sense.
Yes, I have.
Right away that I've just seen everything that's going to be funny.
Yep, I agree. And that's a bad thing if all of your funny of a 90-minute movie is in a 60-second blurb.
Yeah. So we're kind of doing two things here. One is, we just saw a bunch of trailers, and we're going to talk about them. And one thing is it a good trailer? Do we feel like it gives you what the movie is going for? And then the other thing then becomes, did it work for us? Do we want to see this movie?
So we're going to give you, whether we want to see it or not, but also, was it a good trailer for the public?
Sure.
Yep. Okay.
So we're starting off with movies that are coming out in October. And the first one on our list here is Jigsaw. I'm not going to see this movie.
I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see it. And here's the reason why. I don't like those kind of movies.
Yeah. So this was a very effective trailer, I thought, for one of these torture porn kind of movies.
Yes, thank you. # torture porn.
And if you want to see torture porn, this will be a good movie for you to see. The trailer, I feel like it did me a good public service. I see the trailer and I know as if I had any doubt, but I didn't know based on the title that this is actually connected to the Saw.
Yes. I knew that
series I didn't know this was a new Saw movie because Jigsaw just means puzzle. I thought, well, maybe it's a detective movie. Maybe
you're adorable that you thought that.
Well, I saw the title. It's all I saw. As soon as I saw the preview, I was like, oh no, it's one of these. It's fingers slowly getting chopped off kind of shit, and I'm not going. So thank you, Michael and Peter Spierig. I'm sure you made a lovely poetic torture porn horror movie, but I ain't going to go see it.
I'm out.
So not much more to say about that one.
I'm out.
So the next one on our list, we probably have a little bit more to say, is this was kind of exciting, Blade Runner 2049.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. If you were a fan of Blade Runner with Harrison Ford back in the day, it was huge hit, huge cult classic. Yep. I mean, it hit everything. This one, to me, the trailer, it looks like it hits all the same buttons. It looks like it's Ryan Gosling.
Yep.
And Harrison Ford is in there.
Yep.
And it just now that if the villain is that's Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, who I don't enjoy.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a hiccup for me, but it looks like if you were a fan of Blade Runner, I think this one, according to the trailer, is gonna hit it. And I think Ryan Gosling is wonderful. I think this is a great choice, and I think he and Harrison Ford should be fabulous together.
Yeah. What was interesting about this trailer is, you saw the spacecraft go by the neon buildings with I remember when that looked really futuristic.
Right.
When it came out, now it just looks like Times Square.
But it also it's very, if you go back to the trailers of the original, I mean, they're really pulling on that, saying, if you liked that,
exactly,
we're going to show you.
But what I want to say is, you get into it and Ryan Gosling is the new Blade Runner. Okay, cool. And it's about a minute into the 3-minute preview before you see Harrison Ford's face. And that I thought was a pretty cool reveal.
I feel like it's very much like Star Wars. the one that we just started over again, where Harrison Ford,
The Force Awakens.
That's it. Thank you. And that's sad that I had to say that, because as I'm actually a really huge Star Wars fan. But yes, it's that same thing that when you finally see him, you're like, you get an extra pump of adrenaline because it's so exciting. You feel like, oh yay, I get to feel that feeling again.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, with the exception of Jared Leto, who again does all that methody bullshit. I'm not into that.
Meh.
You know, so I heard a story about him. Did you see Suicide Squad?
Yes, I did.
Like, apparently, so his Joker in Suicide. First of all, whatever.
It was not my favorite.
Not my
Joker
favorite at all.
At all.
And you know, he's getting a new movie. He and Harley Quinn are getting their own. Anyway,
I'm out.
Hard
pass.
Hard no. And I love all those DC. Those are my folks. Those are my movies. But I'm not going to go see that one. Apparently, like, he surprised someone at their makeup trailer with a dead animal in a box or something, because that's what the Joker would do. That's the kind of actor bullshit that I have no fucking time for. And when I hear a story like that, now I'm just like, Jared Leto, pass. I mean, if it wasn't Blade Runner and it wasn't Ryan Gosling and it wasn't, oh my God, it's Harrison Ford again, I might not go see this movie because I have such little time for that bullshit. But it's Blade Runner 2049 and it looks really great.
And it's Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford. It does look really, really good. So I think that's going to be exciting. So I think that it's going to be worth seeing. And certainly if you were a fan, I'm telling you, the trailer looks like it's going to just knock your socks off.
Yeah. So Marshall, completely hard right turn into Marshall, which is a biopic about Thurgood Marshall.
Before the airport.
Yes. So okay. So that's a very inside joke for us DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia folks. We have an airport called Reagan National Airport that a lot of progressives and liberals around town don't want to call Reagan. We just want to call it National Airport, or DCA. Baltimore Washington International Airport is actually BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport, and no one calls it Marshall Airport.
They really don't.
It's BWI.
That's true.
And you forget that it's named after Thurgood Marshall and everyone's like, well, Reagan gets his airport, so the conservatives have their airport.
Which makes
Why doesn't
sense.
anyone call this Marshall Airport?
They're airports, people.
And they just don't. They're BWI.
They're airports. They're airports.
Anyway, this is a story of young Thurgood Marshall. It is not the story of him on the Supreme Court.
No, and it looks like it may be based on the case that made him. That's what it looks like, that maybe this is the case. I don't know. I don't know the history.
It's not the desegregation case. It's a case where It's a case, but you're right. It might have put him on the map.
Right.
In terms of, there's a white heiress that is being portrayed by Kate Hudson, who accuses a black man of ravishing her without her consent. And Thurgood Marshall believes this young African-American man did not do this. He's a lawyer for the NAACP, and he takes this case. At the beginning of the trailer, though, before you know what it is, they set it up like it's an action movie. Like it's this bar fight where this young Thurgood Marshall is being accosted by these two white men, and he's about to kick their ass.
But also the cutting, the editing, as you were saying, the cutting and editing of it is that very quick, fast cutting, as opposed to when they're doing like documentaries or think pieces about certain, that sort of thing. They're usually these slow, meandering shots.
Exactly.
This is very quick cuts in the trailer. So you're right. It makes it very like action-ish.
Yeah, and it could be, a movie about Thurgood Marshall could very well be positioned as Oscar bait. This does not look like that movie. It's got this hip-hop soundtrack. Mm-hmm. And then the quick cuts, and you're right. When they're, when he and his assistant are kind of, marching down the halls of justice, it's the slow-mo march to the hip-hop beat, and it's this badass kind of like, bam, I'm Thurgood Marshall. Yeah. And it's not what I expected it to be.
Yeah, I don't know what I expect from the movie, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because you're telling me that it's about Thurgood Marshall, and you're even telling me that it's based on a true story. Yeah. And yet you have all of that, as you said, the hip-hop music and the slow-mo walk and the quick cuts. And I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm going to get. So I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Do I take my mother to see this? Or do I not?
Yeah, that's
because
a good question.
I don't know, because based on the trailer. So from my point of view, it may get some interest, and maybe that's the point. It's trying to get another demographic that might not go see movies based on biography kind of things to come in. And that may be, and if in that case they may succeed. On the other hand, those of us who don't always mind going to a biographical kind of movie are going, I don't know whether I can take my mom.
Exactly. So, now, but it's interesting. We had this made me think of, do you remember that viral video that went around a while back called Scary Mary?
No, I don't know.
They recut Mary Poppins with Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke and gave it creepy music in the background and did a whole trailer of Mary Poppins as if it were a horror movie about the most frightening nanny you've ever had.
Yeah.
It worked. It worked. I mean, it just kind of showed that you can market anything, and the way that you cut these trailers and the way that you put these things out there can actually give you a completely different. And there are other movies that The Shining had this, it was a romantic comedy suddenly.
Right. But it's also, the whole thing is, and that's what makes it tricky about these trailers. You have to be careful. You can't be too cutesy and clever or people aren't coming because, the trailer was funny, but I don't need to go see the movie. And that's my thing with this one, honestly, is I'm like, I don't know.
Because this could easily be inspired by Thurgood Marshall's story, but not even a very faithful rendering. That's like a Tarantino-esque, let's rewrite history a little bit and give you badass action hero Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah.
Based on the trailer, it could very well be that. It could totally go that way. I have no idea. So I don't
know, how I feel about that. I don't know whether I'll go see it also. So there you are. That's where I am,
I might wait. I might wait until I hear more about it. That might be a read a review.
Yes.
And if you read a review and say it's inspiring and it's respectful and it's so historically accurate, and I'll go, okay, well then that was a trailer built for an audience that's not necessarily me, and I'll go check it out.
Right.
But maybe, maybe not. Another one that came out, The Foreigner, with Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan.
This is a different, from lately with Jackie Chan. This is pretty different. This is not a comedy.
No. Although, I have to say, when the trailer started, I thought, oh, Jackie Chan's doing a straight-up drama. He's just playing a grieving father. I thought, oh, that's a really interesting choice for him. Mm-hmm. And then about 30 seconds into the preview, we start with the action scenes.
Was it the explosions? Is that what tipped you off?
Well, but there's but he didn't cause it. He was just there was a terrorist attack, and his daughter, I believe, was killed in a terrorist attack. And he comes to a lawyer to find out what can be done. Mm-hmm. And, the lawyer turns out to not be such a great guy. Again, no spoilers because it's in the trailer.
It's in the trailer.
People.
We can't spoil
So Pierce
anything.
Brosnan is the lawyer who turns out to maybe be complicit.
We don't know, but we know he's a bad guy, and we know that Jackie Chan's character is going after him.
Yeah.
It felt I tell you what, immediately I thought of Death Wish with Charles Bronson.
Yep.
And all those movies where you do something to my family, I'm coming after you. Also Taken, 1 through 15.
1 through 17.
It's that same thing of this guy who has skills.
Mm-hmm.
And you've screwed with his family. He's coming after you. Merry fucking Christmas. You know what I mean? It's like all those, I guess this is closer to November.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels very much that. It's just Jackie's version of it.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's going to be bad. He has some skill set that Liam Neeson nor Charles Bronson had. He's famously known for doing all of his stunts.
Yep.
So action-wise, probably going to be amazing.
Yeah, but it also looks like it's got a more compelling story than some of those...
Well, no, this is not just Jackie Chan going out and kicking ass. There is a reason there, and I think I agree with you. This gives it looks like he's going to have to use some acting chops that he's not called upon to do very often. But at the same time, it's going to appeal to anybody who likes Jackie Chan movies.
Exactly. But those first 30 seconds of the preview was showing me he can do this.
Correct.
I was really impressed. So I
agree.
Again, you said, hey, Jackie Chan's going to do a lot of high kicks in another action film. I'd be like, maybe pass. I'm actually kind of intrigued by this one.
No, I agree with you. I think it's a little bit more depthful as far as what it looks like he's going to be doing. He's going to be acting. He has more of a character.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of cool.
So the first one on our list that I think does look like maybe a little bit of Oscar bait is this new movie called The Mountain Between Us. And it looks like it's mostly two people.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Here's my issue with the trailer.
Okay.
I don't need to see the movie now.
Really?
I know the whole plot. I saw absolutely the only thing I don't know is who dies.
Maybe
I don't know if they both live. I don't know if they both die. I don't know if one lives, one dies. I don't know. But I do know every bloody thing that frickin' happens to them.
Maybe.
Even her stepping onto the ice.
Maybe.
I looked at this and I watched it and I thought, oh my gosh, it kept going on and on and on. It was probably only 60 seconds long, but they were showing me literally the whole movie. I do not need to go see it because I saw it all in the trailer.
Well, for those who might want to see it, it's Idris Elba and Kate Winslet. Mm-hmm. Kate's American in this movie. Idris is not. He's got his actual British accent going on. And they play two people who really need to get out of town, and so they charter a tiny little plane piloted by Beau Bridges, who apparently dies.
He does an Airport 75. Dana Andrews in Airport 75. He dies up there. Only thing that didn't happen is that a jet didn't run into it.
So they crash land on top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere, and the trailer tells us that because it was like a hastily arranged escape, there was no flight plan. Nobody's looking for them. Nobody knows where they are. So it's are they going to be able to escape the wilderness and get down the side of this mountain?
And shit keeps happening.
And shit keeps happening. I will say at one point, there's a dramatic scene in front of a fire, and Kate turns to Idris and says, "We might die here, and I don't even know you." And then as soon as there was this lingering pause, and I turned to Stacey and said, "So why don't we have sex?" Because it seemed like that, like if they get together, that will be something you didn't see in the preview, but kind of predictable.
As I said, I do not need to see this movie. I've seen they showed me too much.
Okay,
they showed me too much. What I wish I could give me the editing tools. Let me edit this trailer for you to make it so that it's interesting, compelling. Show me who the characters are so that I like them, and then show me where raise the stakes enough to they're on the island, and then you can even say there was no flight plan, or he didn't follow the flight plan, whatever you want to do there. And then that's it. Because after that, they then go through all these different adventures and things that they're trying to do to get away, and they're all failing. And then she falls through the ice. And it's like, what the hell? I mean, they told me everything, and I'm just a little mad at that. I'm mad at that trailer.
Okay, and what if we find out that the only clips that you saw in that trailer from the first 40 minutes of the movie, and a whole other thing happens that they didn't want to tell you about? That's possible. I mean, I've seen movies like that before, where there's kind of this surprise middle.
Okay, if all of it happened in the first 40 minutes, she did fall through the ice. And if you remember, there is that one scene where she looks like hell, and he's talking to her. And I'm like, he can't drag her over the mountain. So you're right, a lot more could happen, but she would not physically be able to do a whole lot.
No, but like, what if it's a gravity situation and she dies halfway through the movie and the rest of it's just Idris all by himself? Could be.
It could be. It could totally be.
So we don't know.
I will find out from someone else who watches it, because I will not be going to see it.
Okay. Last movie in October. Well, no, we have two more in October. The next one is a movie called Same Kind of Different as Me. It's a Hallmark film. Or it looks like one. Starring the unrecognizable Renee Zellweger.
Oh my gosh.
She's not the same person.
Hashtag plastic surgery fail.
She's not the same. I mean,
she's not. No, she's not.
She doesn't look bad. Renee Zellweger.
No, but she doesn't look like.
She doesn't look like Renee Zellweger.
It's like what Jennifer Grey did when she got her nose fixed.
Yeah.
It's not that she doesn't look bad. She looks cute. She's still cute as a button, but she's different.
She's different. The whole shape of her face seems to have changed.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And every once in a while you get a shot. It's like, oh, that's Renee. And then you'll get a shot of her like dead on. And it doesn't help that she's a brunette in this too. So it like totally takes that away from her. But this movie seems to be about, she's married to Greg Kinnear, and he's a bit of a disappointment. Greg Kinnear is a very handsome guy and a really affable actor, but he plays a lot of disappointments, it seems like.
Well, I think he's fighting against his handsomeness. I mean, there were some of his first movies, he was playing into it, like Sabrina. He was a good-looking younger brother, yada yada. But I think that he wants to be taken seriously as an actor, so I think he makes choices so that he's doing that on purpose.
So he's the disappointing husband, and Jimon Hunsu,
he's everywhere, by the way.
Yeah. We first met him in Amistad, Steven Spielberg's movie, ages ago. He's in this, and she plays a woman who had a dream, and there was an old black man in her dream, and I don't know whether this is their job or this is something they do. They're at a soup kitchen of some sort, and they're handing people food, and she sees him, and oh my God, it's the man from my dream. So we have to befriend him. And apparently befriending this older black homeless man saves their marriage. Because, of
Yeah.
course, that's all the older black homeless man
Well,
exists to do in this world is save a white couple's marriage. This is textbook Magical Negro. Remember we were talking about the Magical Negro with Amina?
Mm-hmm.
This is the, like, it's the Magical Negro film of the holiday season. So if you like that, go see it.
I felt like it was white people find their humanity through the black man.
Yeah. And he looks like he carries it through with some amount of dignity, but all the same, he's a plot device, at least in this trailer. I'm not interested in seeing this film.
No, at all. No. And that's my problem is when you come up. So this is October, before November, where Thanksgiving is. So when you have the people, you're right, it's a Hallmark movie. When you have the people go into the soup kitchen to serve. Shut up. Shut up, Renee Zellweger. Shut up, Greg Kinnear. Okay? No.
Oh, and by the way, John Voight as himself. John Voight as the racist dad, one of their dads. I don't know whether he's Greg's dad or Renee's dad, but he's somebody's racist dad. Talking about how homeless people need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. Yep. I'm like, oh, John, that's a stretch for you. Not going to see it. A, don't want to give John Voight money. But B, nothing about this looks appealing or interesting or worth my time.
I'll be honest with you. I am kind of surprised because it does feel like a Lifetime or a Hallmark holiday movie. I'm kind of surprised. It's a big
release.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit surprised by that. The story is very anyway, so that's October.
This would feel more at home in Hallmark's 28 Days of Christmas.
You're exactly right. That's exactly what I was thinking. And I think it's 30 Days after Christmas.
Is it?
I think so.
I have no idea. I never watch Hallmark's blank Days of Christmas because it's full of shitty movies like this one.
It starts in November and then goes to the 25th.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anywho, it doesn't matter. We're not watching it.
Because I don't watch those movies and I'm not going to watch this one.
And you know what? No, I won't say that. That's too mean. I was going to say if you decide that you need to go see it, don't tell me about it because our friendship ends at that point. That's what I'm going to say there. I did say it.
On that note, we're going to take a break.
November's next.
We're going to take a break, and we will be right back with November and December trailers with Eric and Stacey.
Open wide. It's your prescribed dose of Popperation with Eric and Stacey.
We forgot one in October.
We did. So we're gonna spend a moment before we get into November movies to talk about we do this all the time. It's like, let's hold our audience in suspense and not tell them the title of something. Let me just tell you, Emily Blunt, Christian Chenoweth, Uzo Aduba, like the most amazing women you could put in a movie.
Those
together.
Are amazing actresses.
Fantastic.
And they're in a movie in October that you may or may not have heard of coming out.
And it's called My Little Pony.
It is My Little Pony.
It's the My Little Pony movie. Mm-hmm. Because there's a mean person with a pirate ship that farts out coal dust that's invading Equestria. And it just so perfect example of really well-made trailer.
Yes.
Of a movie that I will not see.
No, here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'll say about My Little Pony. I put it on my list to watch because I thought it would be funny.
Yep.
But when I'm watching it, I'm like, this might be funny.
Yeah.
To see, because what I noticed is, and this is kind of the trend now. By now, I mean the 21st century, is that when you have these animation, they need to be a little bit more self-aware than they were back in the day. This is not your mama's My Little Pony.
Well, you have to make a movie that the mothers of all these little girls are going to have some enjoyment with because they're going to be tagging along with all these children.
It got dark. That trailer got dark.
Dark.
It got. Stuff started happening. They were all happy, giddy, and suddenly that bad whatever it was came down, and it got. First of all, literally, it got dark. The screen got black, and everybody was in fluorescent colors. It literally got dark visually, and then it was like, oh crap! This is not Teletubbies, man. This is
it's
down.
They raised the stakes in terms of the ponies have to get together and save Equestria, which I think is hysterical. That's the way they call it.
They're horses.
Equestria. But what I will say is right in the middle of the trailer, there was this, two of these little girl ponies were talking to each other about, the meaning of life. And this monster comes up in between them and goes, and friendship and ponies and I'm like, that's me. That's me. That's my attitude right now. That's me. And that is the people who made this movie telling me that if I have to go escort a child to go see this movie, I might not have a completely terrible time. That there's a little bit of stuff for adults in there.
It's snarkier. It's definitely snarkier.
Yes.
You can tell there's this sharp little sense of humor. And again, I think it's a self-awareness. It's like we're aware that we are multicolored pastel ponies.
With rainbow tails.
With a plot that may or may not
the pirate
actually
ship that farts out coal dust. Yeah.
work. But by God, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it with style. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to say. Here's what I will tell you about the trailer. No, I'm not going to go see it. Although, again, if I had younger nieces and nephews or something, younger children, I would totally take them.
I would.
It will be fun, and you will be fine.
Yes.
You will be fine. It will not be extreme. It won't be as painful as it could be.
I think I would like to watch a child watch this movie as opposed to watch the movie.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So anyway,
I agree.
So that wraps up October.
That's October.
Now we're going to start it with November.
Now,
and the first...
Okay, let me tell you. Here's the thing about November, and that's why it gets exciting.
Yep.
Because we're coming up on the holiday stuff.
Yes.
So November starts, shit ramps up.
Yeah.
So, but we start off, go.
So the first movie, because we're talking about Oscar bait, is a Cate Blanchett film. Cate Blanchett is playing.
Funny.
Right? Aren't I clever? It is a Cate Blanchett film. It's not really a film. It's a movie. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It is a movie. Thor Ragnarok.
Oh my gosh.
Starring a newly shorn Chris Hemsworth. How hot is he?
No, he's always been bad.
They had a 2-second clip of him turning around slowly with his shirt off, and I was just like, more of that,
but
please.
Here's the thing. I'm so glad for him to get rid of those really, 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 really bad extensions. They were always bad. And
I'll
be honest, that's one reason why I never liked the Thor movies, was because of his hair. I get that that's shallow. People, I understand.
And that was a comic book thing. Like, to introduce Thor, you had to have long hair.
I know that. I'm just telling you that was part of my problem.
If anybody could pull it off, it could be him. But, oh my God, he looks hot in this movie. And Tom Hiddleston is back as his troublesome younger brother, half-brother, some kind of brother.
Both. Younger half-brother.
Younger half-brother.
No, adopted brother. I'm sorry.
Adopted brother. So Loki, who was the villain of the first Thor movie as well as the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, he's usually the villain.
But he's an ally now. They've turned him into a good guy.
Because they've got Cate Blanchett.
Because they've got Cate Blanchett, who's kicking ass.
Oh my gosh, she's so dark and she takes Thor's hammer. Bitches. She holds on to it, and he's looking at her like,
what? So Loki's back, but now he's a friend because they have a common enemy. So I guess the enemy of my enemy is now my friend. Mm-hmm. And I think they've also figured out, Tom Hiddleston is also hot. So now we have to use him in a different way.
But also, you want those two, the chemistry between the two is very, very fun. And you want to have that as many, and as a buddy movie.
Yes.
Yay!
But also the charming repartee between Thor and either the Hulk or Bruce Banner.
Oh my gosh.
I was cracking up. Like, it's clearly it's a big action movie, big spectacle. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, that thing that Cate Blanchett wears on her head is 3 feet long.
Oh my gosh.
She looks fabulous. She looks like a spider.
This was a good trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
This got me super excited. And I don't think I was excited about Thor Ragnarok before, but I am now.
This is the second trailer I saw. I saw the first trailer, and it's probably one that everybody's seen, where he gets kidnapped, whatever, and he gets thrown into this Coliseum, and he's about to have a fight with somebody, and the person that he's supposed to have a fight with comes out, and it's the Hulk, and he starts laughing, and the villain is like, Jeff Goldblum, the villain, is like going, wait, what's going on here? Why is he laughing? He says, he's the guy from work. And it's hysterical because yes, he is. But that was the first trailer.
Okay.
And so now we have this one that we watched, which was like mega long, first of all. Mm-hmm. But here's my thing. You remember I talked about, I don't like it when you tell me the whole damn story.
Yeah.
Or at least I don't like it when I feel like you've told me the whole story. I didn't feel like this. They showed me bits. And this was really well done. They showed me all these exciting bits, things that are teasers, they're appetizers. It's like, look at this. Not anymore.
Yep.
You'll have to come to the movie.
And the only extended scenes you got were these back and forth scenes between the Hulk and Thor.
Correct.
Which if that's all there is in the entire movie, I don't even care.
I mean,
that's
watch
actually fine.
I would watch them in the cockpit just trading barbs back and forth.
Well, and what I'm saying is that might not be a whole lot of the movie. It might just be those little bits that we saw. But it's fine because it made me interested. It made me want to go see it. And Mark Ruffalo is just this kind of, he's hysterical.
His timing and delivery is just so on point.
As well as Chris Hemsworth, who does not deserve to be that talented and that hot at the same time.
What can he not do?
What the fuck?
What can he not do? I don't know.
Well, I'd like to see him try all those things.
Okay.
Okay, Chris, call me. Next on our list, Bad Moms Christmas. Now, I had not seen Bad Moms. You loved it.
I did see Bad Moms, and here's what I'm going to say to you. I saw Bad Moms. I didn't think I would like it. Because it was the trailer for Bad Moms was, I thought it's going to be bridesmaids with moms just being tacky, gross, drinking, burping, all of that.
Okay, so here's my question. Are they bad moms or are they just irreverent moms?
Okay. In the first...
Are their children being damaged by these mothers?
Okay. To answer your question, they're irreverent. But here's what I'm going to say. In the first one, there were a group of those that were considered good moms. And Christina Applegate was in charge of those.
Of course she was.
Of course she was, and she was brilliant, by the way. So, because this set of moms couldn't live up to the good moms' expectations, they labeled themselves, okay, if we're going to be bad moms, let's just be bad moms.
Okay.
And to an extent, it's kind of like they were more just lazy moms, certainly, but not really. They were good moms, really, to their kids. They were very good moms.
So they were bad girls who happened to be moms. And they weren't terrible mothers.
It's about the mother. The bad part is about they were not June Cleaver. Okay,
gotcha.
That was the expectation that moms are June Cleaver, that you are perfect.
Yep.
And they were not that. And thus, if you're going to say things are either good or bad, they were definitely going to be bad. They weren't going, they bought the cookies for the bake sale. They didn't make them at home.
Okay, that's not child abuse.
But that's called bad mom. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Yep, got it.
And they all had issues that they were dealing with in their family lives also. I enjoyed that movie. I didn't think I would. I really enjoyed it because it was more depthful than just hangover with girls. No, I you know what? I'm going to stick by my word depthful.
Depthful?
I don't care.
Really?
Hashtag depthful.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, anyway, here for Bad Mom, and here's what I'm going to say about the Bad Moms Christmas trailer. It had I not seen Bad Moms and known that the movie was better than the trailer, I would have looked in this and said, hells to the no.
Really?
I don't want to go based on that trailer. But because I know that I didn't like the trailer for the Bad Moms, and yet I did like the movie, I'm feeling like this is probably the same with this.
Well, this is interesting because there is a set of good moms in this one as well, although the good moms in this movie are the bad moms' mothers who all come to visit for Christmas. And one of them is Christine Baranski, who I just love. Anything she does, I will watch her do anything.
And she is wonderful.
So, and what is she, something about, I don't know, she has this mother's dictum that she just kind of rattles off to her daughter. Mothers give joy. It's what we do. We don't enjoy it. And it looked charming. I didn't know what it was when it started. I did not see the first one. Now I kind of want to. And maybe I'll go see this one too.
Yeah, I'll go see this one because, as I said, I didn't care for the preview because a preview is all of the lowest common denominator BS. It's like, why do you want to get 13-year-old boys to go to this? But as I said, that was what the first trailer was too.
Yeah.
And the first movie ended up being, I really liked it. So I will go see this one, but I'm going despite the trailer.
Okay, gotcha. So the next two on my list are ones that I believe I have seen, but you have not, the trailers for.
Okay.
The first one's called Molly's Game. Have you seen the trailer for Molly's Game? Because I watched this one without you. So Jessica Chastain, who's lovely.
Yes, I have seen this.
Redhead. Okay.
I have seen this. Yes,
She's running the illegal gambling ring. And Idris Elba, smoking hot Idris Elba, is her lawyer. And he's American this time. The only thing that really grabbed me about this is when I saw that it was directed by Aaron Sorkin, who's interesting. You know, the guy behind the West Wing,
Yes.
the American president. And he makes an interesting movie. The rest, it looked kind of formulaic to me.
It really did to me. I did not. I looked at it and I love Idris, but I just kind of.
And I like Jessica Chastain too as an actor.
I appreciate her. Okay, but I looked at it and kind of went meh, because if you're going to do that story, the heroine better be somebody that I really want to go see, or I'm going to go meh. And Jessica's, I'm like, okay, whatever. The story just didn't look.
I think who knows, and maybe they were trying to do that thing where they didn't show you too much.
Yeah, maybe.
But apparently they didn't show you enough.
But I think it may be just the story. I mean, it may be just a storyline that doesn't interest me. It looks like it's about she's running an illegal gambling ring and gets in trouble for it, and so she needs help.
And if I were to guess, I would say that what this movie is really about is, is she really a criminal? Like, yeah, she probably broke the letter of the law, but is she really doing anything wrong?
It's like,
is she doing things that other people aren't doing and getting away with?
Well, if I recall, it starts out she's the assistant of this guy running an illegal one. Then something happens and treats her horribly, and she's doing all the work. So she finally, she quits or he fires her or whatever. She's on her own, and she's like, okay, now what do I do?
Yep.
Because she's been doing this illegal thing for money. So now.
And she was the smart one. She kept all the books. She kept the whole thing running.
So then she starts
She does her own thing because she can. Then the shit hits the fan. And
correct.
Now she needs a lawyer.
But again, it was one of those where, okay, got it. It just didn't interest me.
But, maybe Idris takes his shirt off. So there's always that. Hope springs eternal.
But it's not going to be enough for
all right. And then the next one you did not see, which is the Eli Roth remake of Death Wish.
Correct, which I've already referenced, but I was referencing the Charles Bronson
Yes,
Death
so this
Wish.
is Bruce Willis in the Charles Bronson role. It's the same kind of, it looks like a little, if you put it side by side to the 70s one, the 70s one would just look more 70s, but everything else looks pretty much the same. Cop, family gets murdered, he goes off on a rampage, then he just becomes a vigilante, and he can't stop taking the law into his own hands. And I think, again, it asks this, it's a lot of violence, it's really bloody because it has commentary to make on our violent society, and it's also asking this ethical question like, okay, we understand his motives, like it's totally relatable, but is it okay that he's doing all of this? And so it looks super violent, but if you like Bruce Willis, he's back. I haven't seen him in anything for a while.
But that's what he does, though. He does action movies, and again, it's like Taken, which when Taken first came out,
Taken 1 through 17.
Taken 1 through 17. But that's immediately I thought of Charles Bronson Death Wish.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the 70s, it was Death Wish 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know how many they ended up with.
Yeah.
But, I'm like, oh, okay, because we don't have enough of those. All right, Bruce. And I'd like to see, and again, I didn't see the trailer, but I would like to see Bruce do something different. He's great with comedy.
Yeah, Moonlighting was one of the best comic characters ever created for television, and he could do that.
So I would like to see him do something. You know what? Marky Mark does different stuff.
Yeah,
Marky Mark does this. Daddy's.
Yeah, we've got a Marky Mark coming up.
Yeah, but I think you can be an action person and do other stuff, and I feel like Bruce, as he's trapped himself, because these days action heroes they're allowed to do other kinds of movies.
Yeah, and I think that if you're, especially he's got a little age on him, and so he can play something else, and we already know he's so good at comedy.
Now, here's what I will say though: Red 1 and 2, which I saw, I enjoyed them completely. And anytime did you ever see those?
Yep, both.
I enjoyed both of those. A lot of humor in them, but there was the action too. Yep. So I did appreciate that. But again, he could do a romantic comedy.
He could. He and Michelle Pfeiffer should do a romantic comedy.
Oh my gosh.
He and Michelle Pfeiffer should do a romantic comedy about people of,
a certain age.
That have a certain age, 10 years on, people that usually make romantic comedies about.
From your mouth to God's ear.
And they should do it.
From your mouth to Steven Soderbergh's ear.
Soderbergh could do that movie.
Couldn't he do it?
Yeah. Okay, Steven, call us.
Right.
We've got a pitch for you. Anyway, next on our list, big tentpole. So I'm a DC Comics guy. Super looking forward to Justice League. Now, the first thing I would say about Justice League, isn't it adorable that we think that Henry Cavill as Superman is not going to be in this movie? whatever. Okay, he died at the end of Batman v Superman. Of course he did. That's so stupid. And we all know he's going to be in the movie. Why are we pretending?
And they are making it a very in the trailers. It's very obvious to omit him. It's like the most.
Well, and they start talking about the fact that he's dying, that he's dead.
Right.
They start off with, after Superman died, we need hope in this world. And actually, I saw another preview with Amy Adams, who is, of course, his Lois Lane, who is in it as well. So it's like, okay, they're not ignoring Superman, but like, are we really pretending he's not? And you actually saw a corner of a red cape. None of those heroes have red capes, except for Superman. So it's like, we know he's in it. But anyway, who cares? Because Gal Gadot is in it, and she looks just as wonderful and fabulous and kick-ass as she did in Wonder Woman.
In this trailer, she is all over the place. Yeah, you've got what's-his-face Momoa in the water, and his hair's flowing. He looks beautiful. But she's the one up on the earth in this trailer that we see really fighting and kicking ass.
Now, about Jason Momoa, Aquaman is derided throughout comic book fandom for just being stupid, and everyone makes fun of him. Now, my friend Brent, hi Brent, shout out to my friend Brent, has always loved Aquaman. He's got a soft spot in his heart for Aquaman, and he always kind of gets a little perturbed that everyone always makes fun of Aquaman.
He can talk to the fish.
They have completely so no orange scaly shirt, no cute little short blonde Aryan haircut. Jason Momoa looks so fucking kick-ass in
Best
this. And
merman ever.
Right? And so I think that was a deliberate choice, I think, to just make Aquaman not the one you can make fun of. And instead, they've made the Flash the kind of center of all the comedy, which is actually also very true to the comics, by the way. The Flash is well known for having cute little quippy comebacks, sometimes being the nerd of the group, sometimes telling the jokes that everyone else rolls their eyes at, and it looks like he's that in this movie as well.
But he's also the youngest one.
Yes.
And they're playing into that, just like the other side is playing into the Spider-Man being the youngest one of that group. So that's kind of how I see what the Flash kind of took on that role. A little bit, although Cyborg is also a young in that. So Cyborg is the African-American man who's half robot. And, of course, the robot side of him is timeless, if you will, because it's artificial intelligence. But the human side of him is a high school student. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. And so he's not silly young. He's pretty badass because he's half robot, and the robot takes over and can fly a plane. Quick little mention, yes, Ben Affleck is playing Batman in this one as well. Jeremy Irons is back as his Alfred. And even though I still kind of miss Michael Caine. I totally miss Michael Caine. I loved Michael Caine's Alfred. Jeremy Irons has a few quips in this trailer that make it look okay. They're making good use of Mr. Irons. Yes, I was going to say, he has time. This is not to say that he is less than Michael Caine. He's just very different, and so it's an adjustment if you're used to Michael Caine's Alfred. Yes. to go to Michael Caine wakes up droll. He's just droll. Jeremy Irons, he's playing droll, but but he did Klaus von Bülow very, very well. Yeah. He's adopting a little bit of that, and Scar. I also feel like Michael Caine's Alfred would drink a beer, where I feel like Jeremy Irons, it would always be like a martini or a brandy. Well, Scotch was actually in the trailer. Oh, was that? Yes, a little. But I will say the trailer for that, I am first in line. It was awesome. Yep. They did a really nice job. They didn't give me too much of the story. They just showed me everybody who's going to be in it, and they look really cool. They looked wonderful. They look really, really cool. So Justice League. 5 stars for the trailer. We're going to go see it. Next on our list, total left turn into Pixar land. Coco. It's a movie called Coco. C-O-C-O. Like Coco Chanel. But it's not Coco Chanel. Not at all. It's a story of, it kind of riffs off the whole Day of the Dead holiday in Mexico. So it's a Latino, and with lots of corny Latino accents throughout this whole thing. And it's about, it starts off on a Day of the Dead celebration where, according to Mexican lore, your ancestors are kind of with you. You don't see them, but they're there beside you. And then they go away. And this little boy, who is the star of Coco, gets trapped on the other side. And so he's with Now, it was funny. We were watching the trailer, and the very deep-voiced announcer was like, but no one's ever been to their world.
And there was this pause, and Frank jumped in, until now. And then it was me, until now. I mean, it was the most predictable moment in a trailer.
It really was.
But who cares? Like, it's just like, that's what trailers do.
It's a holiday family movie.
Yep.
I think that's what it's going for.
Yep.
It's also going for diversity, so it's not all wasp.
Sure.
And I applaud that.
If it's respectful, I applaud that.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked a little silly, but you know,
I don't know. You know, here's the thing. I don't know, and I won't ever know.
Yeah. Oh, you're not going to go see it?
I don't think I will.
I might. It's one of the, I probably won't see it in the theater. It's like, looking at all the movies that are available to us in the next 3 months.
You're right.
It's probably not going to make the list, but I might see it eventually. It looks like there is quite a bit of sight gaggy stuff going on with the fact that on the other side, everyone is truly made out of skulls. So if you've seen any of those Day of the Dead sculptures, I actually have one in my home of a skull woman with lipstick. It's a skull with lipstick and a fabulous big blue dress and a huge wide brimmed hat. They sell those down I got mine in San Diego. And had to take it home because I just fell in love with her. It has that kind of look to it, and occasionally the fact that everyone's made out of skeletons then kind of falls apart. They have a little bit of fun with that.
Right.
And he's got a dog. Just give a little boy a dog, and I'm like totally there.
As I said, if people see it and enough of them are like, you know what, it's really, really good, I might change my mind. But based on the trailer, right now, as you said, there's too many other stuff.
Okay.
I'm not. Yep. I don't see me going.
So probably on that list as well for me is Daddy's Home 2. So Daddy's Home was the story of Will Ferrell, the stepdad, and Marky Mark, the dad, battling over the affections of the children. And as the trailer opens up for this one, now they get along.
They're buddies.
Like cream and sugar. And they're good buddies. They're very different, but they appreciate each other's differences, and life is a song. And it's Christmas time, and their fathers are both coming home for the holidays. Now, Will Ferrell's father is played by John Lithgow.
Which is brilliant, by the way. It's a brilliant choice. They're both tall, really tall guys, and John Lithgow...
And they're both tall, but puddles of goo. And so they both play into that puddles of goo thing really well.
John Lithgow is wonderful. I mean, he's just perfect. And watching the trailer, and we find out who is Will's dad. It's like, wonderful.
Yes. Before we find out who Will's dad is, we see who Mark's dad is. And Marky is one of those actors that has 3 names, like Neil Patrick Harris.
He does now.
His name is
Racist Mel Gibson.
That's his name.
Here's what's
That's
weird.
What we will call him.
Here's what's weird to me about this, and why. This is only one. There are several reasons, not many. I mean, not thousands of reasons, but there are several reasons I won't see this movie. And one of them is Mel Gibson.
I don't want to give Mel my money.
But here's the thing.
Mel doesn't get my money.
Right. But here's my deal. It's really weird to me because that he has this part. It's a strange choice for producers to make to put him in this.
To make him an asshole. Because he's the asshole.
He is. But to put him... I would not put Mel Gibson in a family movie.
No.
I would never do that.
No. And you know what?
But here's 20 years ago, had he lived the potential that he had as this charming, aging really well, good-looking leading man who then ages into these other father and then grandfather figures, totally different feeling about it. But knowing how he is in real life when he came, and it's funny because the first time I saw this trailer was in a movie theater, I think.
Okay.
And he
doesn't come in until halfway through.
Correct.
Yeah.
But we get to that where they're at the airport waiting for the dads to come down the escalator. And Will Ferrell says something like, "Oh my gosh, is that him?" And we look at Mark Wahlberg. I should stop calling him Marky Mark. And he rolls his eye and says, "Yeah." And so we go up, and in slow motion,
the camera pans up because it starts with his shoes and kind of comes up
all the way up to Mel Gibson slowly coming down the escalator. And as stewardesses go by him on the other side of the escalator, he's coming down, they're going up, they give him the look and all this, and he winks at them, and it's like, ew.
Yeah, gross.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
And it got quiet, and it was like awkward in the theater. Now, then, like 2 seconds later, it's like, oh, here is Will Ferrell's dad, and it's
John Lithgow.
And it's like, oh, and everybody can breathe again.
Yes.
Because it was just delightful. The delightfulness of John Lithgow does not overcome the repugnancy I feel for Mel Gibson.
And you know, Mel Gibson, I know I've been talking a lot this week about like how hot or not everybody is. He's repulsive. I mean, he looks bad. I don't know whether it's just because I just can't stand him.
I think that's part of it. He's not.
But I also think his smile is creepy. It's not. He's not like the. He's not the devastatingly handsome man he was. Because even though I can't stand him, I can look at a picture of him as a young man and say he was devastatingly handsome.
Yeah, Lethal Weapons.
And he's not. He just looks gross. And he's playing an asshole. So it's again like John Voight in the Hallmark movie. Racist Mel Gibson as himself.
Yep.
So
that was, to me, that was a producer error. And
because otherwise I think I would go see this.
The trailer,
charming.
had it been another, like, I don't know, Kurt Russell? Who would you put in there? Jeff Bridges?
Somebody.
Who do you put in there?
Oh, Jeff Bridges would have been great because he could play the jerk.
Right.
You know,
but again, you put them in there. Scott Glenn.
Bruce Willis.
Oh
my God, Bruce Willis could have done it.
Sam Elliott could have done it. Anyway, you put one of those guys.
The point is,
there,
Hollywood. A lot of people could have done this role,
and you would have gotten a bigger demographic because there are going to be people like us who are like, nope, not going to go see it because it's not good enough. But that trailer was cute, and you're right. Aside from that casting choice, I might have gone to see it, and I didn't even see the first one. Yeah, but I might have gone to see this one just because it looks kind of cute.
And it's great when they take a thing like this thing between dad and stepdad, and then they up the ante by bringing their two dads into the picture. And like I think it didn't even go there, but like John Lithgow and Mel Gibson are going to have some kind of fight scene.
Of course,
you just know it's headed there, and it doesn't have to show you.
Right, that's what I'm saying to you. Is that a trailer should give you enough to be enticing, but it doesn't have to give you the whole plot.
Exactly. Okay. So we've got two more to wrap up November. The first is, and it's funny, this is written on our outline here, but it actually was on screen in the trailer. Gary Oldman is Winston Churchill in a film called Darkest Hour that also features Kristen Scott Thomas and one of my favorite actors, Stephen Delane. Who is he's so great in everything. Now, you don't watch Game of Thrones.
I don't.
He was Stannis Baratheon in Game of Thrones, who, like the worst dad ever, famously burned his own daughter at the stake to try to appease the gods to get a battle won, and then that didn't happen. Okay. So he killed his daughter for no good reason. Good dad. He was also Mr. Wolf. He was Virginia Woolf's husband in The Hours.
Oh, okay.
So he played Nicole Kidman's husband there. And that's when I first kind of noticed him. And so as soon as I saw his face in the trailer, part of me is like, oh, it's Stannis. And then I also went, oh, that's also Stephen Delane, who also happens to be just a really, really wonderful actor. Gary Oldman, like Renee Zellweger. Now, when are you going to hear that? Very often. But Gary, like Renee Zellweger, is unrecognizable in this trailer for me.
But here's what we're going to say. On purpose.
Yes. Yes.
Unlike Renee Zellweger.
Unlike Renee. Well, Renee did try to change her appearance, and she exceeded perhaps more than she succeeded more than she wanted to.
She did it permanent.
Yeah. Gary Oldman's just under a shit ton of makeup in this one as a very portly. Gary Oldman's not portly. He's not a portly man. But as Winston Churchill, looked like a good performance. But God, how much latex is he under? That's all I could think of. Is like, what is he lugging around in addition to his own physical self?
It's to me. There's that, and of course we've seen a lot of things. Miniseries and whatnot that have taken place during that World War II time. So there's been like several actors, and we've even talked about them, who've played Winston Churchill. So that's kind of a thing. And I looked at it and I went, okay, it might be good. Hashtag Oscar bait. I do think
probably.
But what I also pulled from it is I'm like, why are we seeing so many of these things around, like Dunkirk? Like these why we're pulling from World War II-ish era. And, the big thing.
And when were these scripts written and when did they go into development and what was going on then? Because I don't think it's today's political climate necessarily that brought back a bunch of World War II nostalgia, which we need.
Yes, but I think that there are things going on in the world that are comparative. I don't care if it's a word or not. Comparable.
Yeah, I think they are comparable. But I don't know that we knew that was. I mean, I don't think that anyone knew that Charlottesville was coming.
No, but there was a lot of stuff. This isn't new.
But kicking Nazis' ass is like something I want to see right now. Yeah. So that's a part that I will say, good. And the whole, what I know about Winston Churchill, is that he was a hero and that he was courageous and that he was difficult, right? So I think that's an actor's dream in a lot of ways, because you get to play a lot of corners and you get to see him, you just be a real curmudgeon with his wife. And Kristen Scott Thomas looks a little too young to have that shock of white hair. I don't know how old she is, but it's just like all of it. It was a shock to see her play an older woman of that age.
I think she is too young to play that age. I really, truly do. But here's what I'm going to say. I feel like for a British actor especially, that your ultimate, if you're a guy, your ultimate is to play Winston Churchill. If you're a girl, your ultimate is to play Queen Elizabeth, one of them.
One or two.
Either one. I think that's kind of how I see it. And so I'm sure, to me, I looked at this and I thought, I bet Gary Oldman must have the greatest time of his life. This is, what a fun character.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill, I've seen some biographical stuff about him. And early in his career, he had some spectacular failures. And so it kind of colored how, when he did finally become prime minister, he was very complex and had a lot of stuff going on. And so, yes, I think you're exactly right. It's a dream character to play.
And if you like good acting, then, of course, you want to go see a good actor play all those sides and all those facets.
Yep. And sometimes, sometimes you need a movie to take your mom to.
yeah, that too. The ultimate movie to take your mom to, I think, this time.
#Squee. I'm so psyched.
Kenneth Branagh's Murder on the Orient Express. Now, I will start off by saying, bad trailer editing, because you have somebody with a Belgian accent who starts narrating this trailer. And obviously, if you know anything about Agatha Christie, it's Hercule Poirot. And when the voiceover started, the camera was trained on Johnny Depp's face. And I was like, Johnny Depp as Hercule Poirot, that's an interesting choice. No. Kenneth Branagh is playing Hercule Poirot with the most ridiculous facial hair I've ever seen on anyone. So that took a half star away from my...
I don't believe his mustache on every Hercule Poirot that I have watched. It was a different kind of mustache.
Yeah, it was a little curly. And that's the other reason why I thought it was Johnny Depp, because he looks more like the Hercule Poirot that we're used to seeing.
He didn't have a bushy mustache. Hercule Poirot did not.
Or a bushy Van Dyke beard under... I mean, it's crazy-ass facial hair. And Kenneth Branagh, when actors direct themselves, you always... did someone advise you on that mustache, Kenneth? But anyway, Penelope Cruz, Judi Dench, Joss Gad, Leslie Odom Jr., Michelle Pfeiffer, she's back with a vengeance. Did she stop on purpose?
She may have taken a pause.
Did she have just taken a pause in her career? Because, people are excited to see her. I'm very excited to see her in both of these movies. I've missed her. I didn't realize how much I'd missed her until I saw her in these two previews and thought, oh, good, she's back. I didn't know what happened. Anyway, great cast. And, of course, we know the end. We're not going to spoil it, because I do actually know the ending of this particular murder mystery. I've seen versions of Murder on the Orient Express several times.
So, I've seen almost all of them.
Okay.
From the 30s on. I love Agatha Christie. I love Hercule Poirot. I watched the TV show on PBS.
I'm more a Miss Marple guy, but I can go with
I like Miss Marple, too. I like Agatha Christie. Okay, I'm #Agatha. Here's my thing about this particular trailer. You are exactly correct. It's not the greatest trailer in the world. But the moment I saw Murder on the Orient Express, Stacey was in.
Yep.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. And so, should it be a better trailer? It should, because there are a lot of people out there who are not #Agatha.
Yeah.
So they're going to need a little bit more convincing. Now, they did show all of the cast, and it's a huge cast, so hopefully that will pull in.
And it's a great lineup of suspects in this story.
Oh my gosh, it's wonderful.
And this great long shot they gave you in the trailer where they walk down the car, and under everyone's face they put kind of not their name, but kind of their role. So the missionary, the widow, the butler, and then when it got to Judi Dench at the very end, you were kind of waiting for something, and it said the princess, and you're like, what? But if you know the story, you know that. Okay.
But as I said, I was in there from the moment they said Murder on the Orient Express. So it didn't really matter to me. But looking at this, critically as a preview, it's not the greatest.
No, and it clearly somebody made it. Either I wonder if Kenneth Branagh shot this preview himself, because he waits until the very end of the preview to show us his face with that ridiculous mustache, as though that is what's going to bring everyone to the theater, that Kenneth Branagh's in this movie. He's the actor I'm probably the least excited about of all of these, but it's an amazing cast.
I think it's possible that he would have shot it that way no matter who was cast. I feel like, because what happens is,
because Hercule Poirot is really the star.
Because what happens is he goes through all of the people, and then somebody says, "Well, who are you?" Willem Dafoe says, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
And that's when the camera starts at the feet and slowly goes up, and he says, "I am Hercule Poirot, possibly
the greatest detective in the world."
Yeah, which is interesting. They said possibly, because usually every Hercule Poirot I've seen, they're like, "I am the greatest."
Yeah.
So it was interesting for him to put that in there. But anyway,
because Branagh's so humble.
I am, and I'm.
But I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in. But again, not based on the preview. It has nothing to do with the trailer.
Yeah, it's just the title. The title, and we were in.
The preview is okay. It tells you who's in it.
Done.
But yeah.
So when we come back, we don't have as many for December because we're a little ways out, so they didn't have as many previews available to us. But we've got a couple that we're going to talk about, and then we'll final diagnosis this puppy and be on out the door.
But also, most of them come out right before Thanksgiving because they want to have that long lead in for the rest of the year.
Yep. So we'll be back in just a moment with December's trailers. Join us.
You're listening to Popperation with Eric and Stacey. Take a deep breath. This may sting a little.
And we are back. I am Eric.
I'm Stacey. And we are talking about movie trailers, and we're talking about the ones coming up in this next season, October, November, December. We're on December, and still some big ones to come.
Yeah, sequels, remakes. There's a lot of big names in this month, which, that makes sense.
And
People
something you can take your mother to.
Yeah.
But the first one is a remake or a reimagining. And I
can't quite tell what it is, to be honest with you.
But I did not. The first. Okay, we're talking about Jumanji. And
Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
You're correct. You're right. So I guess, yes. And that Jumanji, the movie, the first one with Robin Williams and Bonnie Hunt, whom I adore, both of them.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite movie.
I never saw it.
Okay, it was okay. I didn't love it.
Okay.
So when I saw that this was coming out, I'm like, meh. Hashtag gimme H. I'm like, whatever.
I had feelings only that, I just got sad because I thought about Robin Williams. Even though I'd never seen the movie, I was like, oh, we're remaking a Robin Williams movie. And I thought, well, who can play Robin Williams? This is my problem with the upcoming Aladdin. They're making a live-action Aladdin. Nobody can fill those shoes. Now, after seeing the trailer, I realized that no one's trying to fill those shoes. His character, or any dad character, does not exist here.
And here's the thing about this Jumanji trailer. I think they were very, very smart about that.
Yeah.
As I said, it's kind of a reimagining of the game.
Yeah.
And bringing it, frankly, to the 21st century. Jumanji was a board game.
In the original. It is now a video game, which, of course it would be, because who's sitting down doing a board game? Exactly.
Nobody.
Exactly. Now, I saw this trailer on my computer in prep for this show. So I knew it was Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle before I hit play. So already I was like, I don't know. The trailer as shot, if I would have seen this in a movie theater, it would have been these 4 kids in high school who all got detention. It had a very Breakfast Club kind of setup.
Yes, it did. They started off very much like that.
And then all of a sudden they found this video game locked in the basement of their school, and they all started playing, got sucked into it. And then and you only right before they got sucked into the game did you hear the word Jumanji. And I think that I probably would have had a different feeling about this movie had I not known what it was before I clicked on it.
Okay.
But once that happened and they all got sucked into the game, it's clearly even though I never saw the first one, this is clearly very different, and a lot of it looked really charming.
Here's the deal. You've got basically what happens is, so once these kids get sucked into the game, they become these characters that they pushed buttons for.
Yeah.
Because basically a video game, you pick your character. They pick their characters. Once everybody has picked their character, suddenly the game sucks you in.
Yep.
And so
you get played by a different actor.
You're getting played by an adult. You are now the character. You're no longer your little teenage person.
So just to back up a second, the 4 high school kids who were in this, 2 boys, 2 girls. 3 nerds, shall we say, are probably of the less popular variety, and then 1 skinny blonde.
Well,
princess.
no. The big guy is a football player.
Oh, right.
So it's a nerd, a football player, jock,
a princess, and Ali Sheedy.
And then your little nerd
girl. So it's like, okay, so it is the Breakfast Club.
Correct.
Minus
2 of them.
Yeah. Well, minus
the drug head.
Dealer. Yeah.
And
Judd Nelson.
Yes.
No Judd Nelson, and the rest of the Breakfast Club gets sucked into a video game. That's the movie. The Breakfast Club gets sucked into a video game.
But then what happens, and when they're in the characters, though, so the nerdy guy, his character looks like The Rock.
Yes, so he's got muscles, and he's very pleased with himself.
And it's adorable to see The Rock
And I was waiting for him to look down his pants, because that's what boys would do.
He will.
He probably will.
I think he will.
Yeah, he probably will.
But that's not for the trailer, and thank you for them not doing that. The football player the character he chose was called Moose. So he's like, dude, I'm going to be Moose. So that sounds like a badass guy. Yep. It's Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
And Kevin is adorable. Even in the trailer, he's like, I'm missing 2 feet of myself.
Yeah.
And it's just, he's just adorable.
Exactly. Nerd girl becomes hot girl.
Becomes, what's her face from Doctor Who, and also the blue one from Guardians of the Galaxy. And so she's sitting there and she's like, why am I in a cutoff t-shirt and shorts in the jungle?
Exactly.
Because that's how characters are drawn in video games.
So a little social commentary there. Very funny.
And then you have the little princess girl who, at one point in the beginning, Nerd Girl says to her, are you going to help us or are you just too pretty? And the girl says,
I'm just too pretty.
Yeah. So this girl is, once they figuring out, oh, I see, we all turned into these characters. So she's looking at everybody and she's like, oh, let me go look. And they're like, don't look in the water. Don't see who you are, because who she is Jack Black. And so she comes away going, I'm a middle-aged pudgy man. And so they've set this up to where you know who the characters were, okay, and you know how they what they became, and now they're on this adventure to get back out of the game because you know that's what the plot is.
And at one point, Jack Black gets like tripped and falls in his ass and goes, I can't even with this place. Oh my God.
I know. It's wonderful to see these actors having to pull on their inner teenage whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, whoever plays hot girl, she is a hot girl. So, not a lot of humility there, but everyone else really gets a big chance to poke fun at themselves. Jack Black, The Rock, and Kevin Hart get to play, they all get to be either disappointed or thrilled with how they ended up.
But also they all say, well, wait a minute, this is a video game, so we all must have special skills. And so slowly they're learning what their special skills are. Nerdy girl who has the cutoff, apparently she can kick ass. And so you see some of her fighting a little bit. I don't think we figure out what Kevin Hart's character, he goes, why am I running so slow? Yeah. But so I don't know what his skill, we don't figure out what his skill is yet. Yep. But
it looks like Jack Black probably turns into some kind of scientific genius or something.
Yeah.
And then The Rock is clearly just super buff, strong.
And he's the leader. He's the alpha.
Yeah.
But at one point he's looking and everybody's behind him and he's going, please don't cry, please don't cry, please don't cry. Because that's what he's still this teenage kid.
Yes, he's this little insecure boy.
And that's what's fun too, is that you're watching these grown-up actors having to, you're playing 2 characters at the same time.
Play children.
I'm sorry, I'm in.
It looked very cute.
Because the casting is wonderful.
Yeah. The next one on our list is a sequel. And as far as I'm concerned, this franchise jumped the shark in part 2. So I don't know what really to expect in part 3, but I'll probably go because all of my gay besties are going to be first in line for Pitch Perfect 3. Mm-hmm. Elizabeth Banks is back. She looks hilarious. She's always funny in these as the commentator who pops up everywhere to deliver bitchy comments.
I will go see it for those 2. They're like the old guys in the Muppets. All they do is make commentary of what's going on, and they're always negative.
Yes,
and they're hysterical. Yes. And I love that actor guy. I can't remember his name, but I love them. They are hysterical.
John Michael Higgins? Am I right about that?
Very nice, nice pull. Though he and Elizabeth Banks to me make this worth it. I'll be honest. The plot schmott.
Yeah, whatever. Although I will say, Rebel Wilson cracks my shit up. And at one point, they meet this punk rock band that are all girls, and one of them is named Dignity, and one of them is named Serenity. And she's like, if I was in your band, I could be Obesity. Okay, that made me laugh. And she's wearing a red cap that says Make America Eat Again. Okay, that was funny.
Yeah, I guess. I get tired of the whole fat joke thing.
I'm okay with it coming from Rebel Wilson herself because she knows she's hot. And so that that's so, it's less. I would not be okay with skinny people making fat jokes at her expense.
I mean, I guess.
I don't know. I'm okay with it.
And I get she's doing it for the money. Everybody is.
Yes.
This movie, everybody's doing it for the money.
Well, and they're all back. Anna Camp is back as they all seem to be getting along a little bit better now. There's a great, line where Brittany Snow's got her hand up a cow's ass and says, "Cross your fingers," and the cow goes, and it's just, okay. I'll probably go. The music is probably going to be really good. The music's always really good.
Yes.
In these, so there will be some moment where all looks lost for the Bellas, and this one they're all at a USO show for the troops, and things look like they're going to be terrible, and then they're going to come out for a set that is amazing, and it'll blow your fucking socks off, and that'll be a very happy kind of. But the comedy for me in the first one, there was a real story there, and it was not nearly as good as A League of Their Own, which is obviously one of our, but it really was this team of women who learn how to work together and become something great. Then Pitch Perfect 2 was just silly.
Here's what I'm going to say. If you liked Pitch Perfect, the first one, you went to the second one. So this to me is just a movie that, no, of course it wasn't thrown together, but I'm going to use that it was thrown together for its fans.
Yep.
Here's our Christmas present to you.
I tell you what, if you liked Pitch Perfect 2, you will probably really like Pitch Perfect 3. Mm-hmm. I was disappointed in Pitch Perfect 2. Mm-hmm. I'll probably see this one anyway, but I've got low expectations.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is you've seen two of them, you might as well see the third. That's kind of where I am. Kinda. So I may, if my daughters want to go, I'll go with, or maybe I'll drop them off. I'm not sure. This is one of those that it's way down on the list, and it may not make it.
So the next one is the animated film of December, which I had no feelings about before the trailer started, and I so want to see this now.
This is how you make a good trailer.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any. I remember the Ferdinand books. Mm-hmm. Okay, I have no desire to see Ferdinand the Bull animate. No.
Yeah.
This trailer changed my mind.
Yes, I want to go see this now. So Ferdinand is a bull who is a gentle, loving soul.
He's huge.
He's enormous. I guess gets stung by a bee in the middle of a marketplace and has a moment of panic, and all of a sudden people think that either he's crazy or he's really tough, and they send him off to be in bullfights. Now, on the subject of bullfights are disgusting. I mean, bullfights are just the most...
They're awful.
They're terrible.
They're awful.
Yeah, and I hate to sound somehow like I'm culturally not... it's just basically, it's animal torture. These matadors are not really in all that much danger. They just drug them to so by the time you stick the knife in their heart, the bull is just this damaged, and it's horrible. I can't watch them. Put it that way.
Okay, this is a cartoon.
I know, but so the idea that he's being sent off to bullfights right away, and the matador is the evil character in this, I'm all in for that. Because, I mean, I get that it's not my culture and maybe I shouldn't have that much to say about it, but my own values around, like, animals being hurt, and I just don't like that. So, Ferdinand is basically, here's the plot. He's a gentle bull who doesn't want to fight, doesn't have a mean bone in his body,
and
stuck in a bullfighting. By accident. Because he's somebody's pet. He's a beloved pet of this little girl in Spain. And now he's going to be thrown into a bullfighting ring and obviously could die.
And he's got to figure out a way. He wants to get back to his girl, his little girl. And so that's part of it is getting, escaping and getting back to the girl. And this is according to the trailer. But again, what they have is these little characters that they're showing you in the trailer. And that's what made it.
The three little hedgehogs sold me. I was so
Quattro.
Yes,
where's Trace?
Uno, dos, and Quattro. Where's Trace?
We don't speak about it.
And they all do their little sign of the cross. Oh my god! And that wasn't even as funny as it. Just watch the trailer.
It was adorable.
It's so funny.
And who's the voice of Ferdinand? Which is brilliant.
John Cena.
That's right.
How much do I love that? First of all, I love John Cena. I mean,
is it Cena or Cena?
I don't know.
Thought it was Cena.
Well, I don't know.
It's C-E-N-A. I don't know, but I thought it was Cena, but you might know best.
Cena sounds more Italian. I assume that's what it was.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Anyway, don't know.
Wrestler.
Train
Tough
wreck.
guy.
And
yes,
yeah,
but he's a tough guy. And
big tough guy, but with a heart of gold. I mean, in real life, he has just got the biggest heart, and sweet, sweet guy. And so for him to be giving voice to this big, enormous thing
perfect.
that is, he's not a fighter. He's just, it's kind of, I know it's a voiceover, but it's really against type. Great piece of casting there. And like a lot of these, My Little Pony as well, just a great cast all the way up and down in terms of the voices. So that looks really great. We've got 2 more to go through.
Mm-hmm.
The next one I'm going to say, this trailer I thought was very misleading. And I say that because I haven't seen the movie, clearly.
Right.
But when I looked at the tag, the descriptor of this movie, it says an original musical, and it features songs by the same guy who wrote all the music for La La Land. Mm-hmm. So I bet it's one of those "I feel a song coming on" kind of thing.
I think you're right.
And the trailer did not show us that.
No, but correct, it did not show us that.
So it looked like a movie. It looked like a straight-on movie, and I think it's a musical. So if you hate musicals, don't be mad. When you be mad, I guess, and let them know about it. But this is it looks like
Showman.
It's called The Greatest Showman, and it's Hugh Jackman as P.T. Barnum.
Mm-hmm. But here you've got it's appealing to the younger demographic. It's got Zendaya, Zac Efron.
Yep.
And I think Michelle Williams plays his wife.
Yes.
I
love her, by the way. Can I just say
she's very, very good.
She's fantastic.
But here's what I'm going to say. All 3 of those people are known for musicals.
Yeah.
Or singing. I mean, so, and some of the clips that you saw looked like Hugh had just finished dancing.
Uh-huh.
So I do agree with you. I think that one reason there were a lot of cuts is because they wanted to show pretty pictures, but they didn't want to show us that it was really part of a musical.
Yes. So there was one song that goes through the whole trailer. And at one point you see all these circus performers on stage singing this song. They're like lip syncing what you've been hearing the entire time. And so maybe it's a musical like Cabaret is a musical where all of the musical performances are actually
part of the show.
Part of, someone's on stage singing to an audience, and it's not like this unrealistic, an orchestra plays in the middle of a street and you start. I don't think that's what it is. I bet it's a musical.
I bet it's a musical
I think it's just a straight up musical, and it annoys me when trailers don't tell you like really what's going on.
But we can't get mad at it yet because we don't know.
We don't know.
But we are. I think that's really good.
If it turns out to be your traditional musical, I think this trailer is a big bunch of bullshit. Because,
and I think the box office will show it. You'll have a big first, and maybe I don't know how many people want to watch, P.T. Barnum.
People
anyway.
like musicals. That's the thing. If it's a musical, tell people it's a musical. There is an audience for this. Musicals are huge. I mean, Chicago, Dreamgirls. We've been making La La Land was a big hit. This is the same composer. There's an audience for that. Why won't you just tell people this is what it is?
This trailer was very much, this is a romance. This is a man, self-made man, and showing how he did that.
Yep.
Entrepreneur. And then it's also, you have these comic things. So
and
that's
he
what I
brought
saw.
together, it was a little bit not, it didn't look scary this way, but it was kind of American Horror Story freak show. It's like we've got a bearded lady, and we've got, a little person, and we've got, so it's also kind of, these people who feel ostracized by society coming together and finding a home. I'm sure that's also a big part of what's going on
So
here.
It's one of those where we think it's a musical straight on, but it may not be. It may be this just fun holiday biopic about P.T. Barnum, but it could go either way. But we're not sure because it was. I do think that there was some creative editing, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
So I'm holding judgment, but I'm a little pissed off.
Yeah.
Last trailer of this show. Most anticipated film of the year, I think we can say without too much overstatement there.
And here I go. #squee again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although this trailer,
I'll tell you. Yeah, I have an opinion about the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer told you nothing.
So Star Wars: Last Jedi.
Which I have to tell you, I'm friends with this gay couple, one of whom really loves Star Wars, and the other one I think pretends not to like it just to get on the other one's nerves. I don't think he's as big of a fan, sure. But, so his husband at one point said, "Oh, Star Wars The Last Jedi," and the guy just said, "Promise." Which is a great line.
It is a great line.
And luckily Star Wars has got a legion of fans. Otherwise it was like, maybe that's not the smartest thing to say because you'd get that kind of... Anyway, just wanted to throw that in there. Hi, Paul. You're very funny.
Here's the deal. So for this trailer, because we're talking about trailers, I'll preface it. I'm going to see this. I was in line for it.
Oh, yeah. A year ago.
Okay. I'm so psyched. The trailer did not take away from me, who already wanted to see it. And I know all of the Star Wars stuff. It took away nothing from me. It looks exciting. It was just a bunch of action shots.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what you didn't see?
Oh, no. You're talking about Carrie?
Well, you didn't see Carrie or Mark.
No, you did not. You did not in that particular trailer.
I mean, so, okay,
But
spoiler alert, if you haven't seen The Force Awakens, then you're not really a Star Wars fan, so I don't feel bad. You see Mark Hamill at the end of The Force Awakens.
But you hear him. That's him talking.
Yes.
He's talking over.
You never see his face.
Here's what I'm going to say to you about this trailer. If this was the first movie of Star Wars that I was thinking of seeing, I would know nothing.
No, that's it. It tells you nothing. But it's Star Wars. It doesn't need to tell you anything. Saying to you. All you need is the music.
Right.
And you need to see a lightsaber.
But again, if you come at this, somebody just shows up, crawled out of a rock, no idea about it.
Yeah.
It would not sell them.
No.
This is selling to the people who've already drinking the Kool-Aid.
Which is half the universe.
I understand that. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying to you that I kind of had a little bit in that. It literally just showed you pictures.
Nothing. It told you nothing.
Now, it did look like, if you recall,
and it's called a teaser trailer. It's a short thing, so it may, there might be bigger. I'm
sure there will be. There will be certainly around Thanksgiving, right before, because it doesn't open until December. But it does feel like they are doing. The last movie, Force Awakens, was almost shot for shot Star Wars: A New Hope.
Sure.
And I feel this one felt like, and so if you remember the number 5 was about Luke learning from Yoda how to be a Jedi.
Yep.
The fact that Mark Hamill, that Luke was the one talking over this particular trailer, and he was saying training things, feels like this is going to be her. He's going to be her Yoda.
Yep.
And so it's really interesting to me in that it looks like they're going to do the same thing. They're going to go, okay, and this is number 2.
Yeah.
This is movie number 2.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But it is one of those where I'm sitting here, and at the end I was like, wow, if you don't know Star Wars, you don't know what this movie is. You have no idea what it's about. Yep. It's just a bunch of people in ships and things exploding. But for a Star Wars fan, on it.
Yeah. And I will say,
it before they created it.
Exactly. And that's why I'm going to say, yes, I agree with everything you just said. And I think for this movie, that was actually pretty smart. Because it's got a built-in audience. All I need to hear is the music and a lightsaber.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I need to see a lightsaber. I need to hear the music, and I'm there.
Yeah.
And if they can get a big opening weekend, then those other folks will follow because word of mouth takes over, and the trailer's job is done. So this was a long show, but we got a lot. But I'm so excited about all of these.
I love trailers.
Yeah,
and it was. There's some fun stuff coming out. There's some stuff that is totally walk-buyable. I can't even. But there's some stuff. I was surprised that there are some of these trailers. Jumanji is one of them, for example. Ferdinand is another one that I will see because I've seen the trailer.
Yep.
Had I not seen the trailer, wouldn't be going.
Okay.
On the other hand, there's some that I'm like, meh, because of the trailer.
Yeah, maybe because of the trailer, maybe because I didn't want to see it anyway.
Well,
so, final diagnosis. First of all, Stacey, what are you just excited? Trailer schmailer, what are you excited about seeing of this list of movies? Like, what are you definitely going to go see? Star Wars is one, clearly.
Star Wars is one. Okay, but, coming up, I am definitely going to see Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to see Justice League.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to see Murder on the Orient Express.
Yep.
And Star Wars, those are my definites.
Yep. And they were definites before the trailers even came out.
Were they definites? Not. Were they all before the trailers
Maybe
came
not Thor?
out? Maybe not Thor, because I'm not a big Thor fan.
Okay.
No, Thor, you know what? Thor needed the trailer for me.
Okay.
Thor needed the trailer. Everybody else knows.
I would agree.
The ones that I would like, that I really want to see, Jumanji now.
Yep,
probably will see that one. Who else would I might see, maybe Ferdinand. Bad Moms Christmas I will probably see, like at a matinee.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you. if I got dragged to My Little Pony, I'd be okay. What about you?
Well, for me, I think all of those definites that you mentioned, I'm there with you. Justice League, I was there already. Star Wars, I was there already. I will probably see Pitch Perfect 3, and the trailer actually did not help there. I'd probably go see it anyway because the trailer didn't do much for me. What I'm excited about that I wasn't maybe before, didn't know anything about Mother! ! But the preview looked good and creepy, and the cast looks great. And again, really happy to see Michelle Pfeiffer on screen again.
You can tell me about it.
I think I will probably go see that one. I'm not promising, but I'm much more likely to see The Foreigner after seeing the trailer than I would have been before. Because Jackie Chan doing martial arts, I could say, been there, done that.
Correct.
But this looks different and it looks compelling.
This is more, yeah.
And so, had it not been for racist Mel Gibson, I think I might have actually been excited about Daddy's Home too, but no. And and that was about, and Darkest Hour, the Winston Churchill movie, I'd see it. It's fine. Gary Oldman's a great actor. Winston Churchill's a great part.
Here's my thing. So
I'm excited about other stuff.
When December comes around and my mother comes up for Christmas, I usually take her to a movie. So I would probably take her to The Greatest Showman. But if it was sold out, then I would take her.
And I think that's going to open Christmas Day. I think The Showman's one of those Christmas Day releases.
Here's my thing: is if it's sold out, then I would then take her to Darkest Hour.
Okay.
I mean, that's so I might see it just because that might be what I take my mom.
Yep.
Fair. There we are. Or I could take her to Death Wish. I just don't know.
You're going to take Teenie to go see Death Wish.
That's not happening ever. That's just not.
On that note.
Alrighty then.
This is Popperation. I'm Eric.
I'm Stacey.
Please subscribe. Tell your friends. Give us a review. You can find us on Apple Podcasts.
Play Popperation Bingo.
Play Popperation Bingo. You can find that at Fun and Games at PopperationRoom.com. Look for us on Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, YouTube, wherever you find podcasts. And we will see you here next week.
You've been listening to Popperation with Eric and Stacey. Check out our website at PopperationRoom.com for links to our blog and other extras. Don't forget to subscribe to Popperation via iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and other podcast locations. You can also follow at Popperation Room on Facebook and Twitter. Music provided by PurplePlanet.com.